Hi, I'm Helmut Licht. Thank you for joining me in this seventh video of a series of videos entitled My God, Here, There, Everywhere. And just to remind you, I'm working with 5 basic statements. Imagine yourself floating in outer space with no stars anywhere in sight, nothing but darkness all around you, nothing to relate to, nothing in front of you, behind you, above you, below you, all alone, just you by yourself. What do you suppose would happen to you? My guess is that you would suddenly listen to within yourself. You would become aware of your heartbeat, your lungs breathing in and out, your blood rushing through your veins, etc. It's the same with my God. He is infinitely large, therefore nothing can exist outside of him. For him to have any kind of experience, to have any feeling of aliveness, he had to turn within. And when he turned within, he activated intelligence. Using intelligence, he became aware of his within, which to us is the infinite universe. It is one thing to know everything and be everything, but another to experience it. Just as it is one thing to know a song and another to experience, hear, or play it. For experience to be activated within my God, there has to be a world of change, time, and intelligence. Intelligence needs to have a center and a point or points outside of itself to relate to. Whereas knowledge is self-sufficient and alone, intelligence depends upon itself and something other than self, with which it can interact. Since intelligence is as eternal as my God, but also time-dimensional and time-dependent, time must be eternal, because if change and time disappeared, so would intelligence, and since intelligence is part of my God, if it disappeared, my God would change, and that is impossible. I said earlier that intelligence needs a point outside of itself to relate and compare to. I also said that it is as eternal and infinite as my God. How can something which is infinite have something outside of itself? Let me draw a picture. Imagine this circle infinitely large, meaning anything that exists has to be within it. My God, who is infinitely large, is the circle. Intelligence is infinitely large, so it also fills the circle. I ask once again, how can intelligence, which is infinitely large, relate to something outside of itself if there is no outside to something infinitely large? There's a difference between my God and infinite intelligence. The latter can be divided up. Intelligence immediately applies the idea of duality to itself, as it cannot be applied to my God, and an instantaneous, never-ending process of subdivision ensued together with a never-ending yearning, desire, longing by intelligence and all its subdivisions to blend back into oneness with my God, back to the initial status quo. Initially, there was only one manifestation called intelligence. One of anything might as well be nothing, because there is nothing for intelligence to relate to. However, when intelligence became activated, the idea of two was also activated, because now there are one, my God, and two, intelligence. Think of intelligence as water, which can be divided in 2 ways. Into drops, which decreases it in size without changing its characteristic. Every drop is still water. Into hydrogen and oxygen, which changes its characteristic. One liquid has changed into 2 different gases. Intelligence, similarly, divides into drops, and just as drops of water join with others to form larger drops, puddles, brooks, streams, rivers, lakes, and oceans, so drops, centers of intelligence, join to form various sizes of consciousnesses. As water can be broken down into oxygen and hydrogen, so intelligence breaks down into two polarities, positive and negative, masculine and feminine. The negative manifests by means of a pulling, contracting, and uniting force, and the positive manifests by means of a pushing, expanding, and separating force. To be sure, there are other ways in which intelligence manifests, but at this point, the division into these two opposites will suffice. The contracting force, which I call con-force, pulls intelligence centers and consciousnesses closer together, and the expanding force, which I call X-force, moves them further apart. Both are necessary, like breathing in and breathing out. If there were only the con-force, everything would contract into one point and ultimately appear to vanish within it. It would actually create a never-ending motion into smallness. If there were only the X-force, everything would expand into infinity with nothing but emptiness in the middle. Whenever there are two opposing forces, there has to be a third force which maintains their balance. I call this the equiforce. The operation of this equiforce is best illustrated by a rubber band and a rubber ball. When the rubber band just lies there, no forces are at work. However, pull on it and the force becomes noticeable, which, when you let go of the rubber band, will keep operating until the rubber band has assumed its original shape. This force also operates in reverse when you squeeze a rubber ball. It is merely interested in restoring the rubber band's and rubber ball's original shape. These three forces, con-force, X-force, and equiforce, are always operating in various degrees and are as eternal and as infinite as my God. Before you go, I would like to show you a few pieces of my art. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Thank you for your interest, and I will see you in my next video. Have a wonderful day.